The 2025 Porsche 911 GT3 RS Weissach is a study in purposeful excess, where every surface, stitch, and carbon fiber weave has been tuned to a single goal: extract the maximum sensory and performance payoff for driver and spectator alike. And that intent is obvious the moment your eyes trace the car from nose to tail and then slide inside the compact cockpit. Externally, the GT3 RS wears race-bred aero as functional jewelry, an aggressive front splitter and dive planes that feed a sculpted front fascia, vented front fenders, and enlarged side intakes that channel air to brakes and engine. A pronounced roofline and rear haunches that hint at the mid-to-rear mass bias, and a towering, fully adjustable rear wing paired with an active rear diffuser and a drag reduction system that together deliver astonishing downforce numbers for a road-legal 911, while still allowing you to relax the aero for a long straight, vertical elements that are not merely showpieces, but modular tuning tools for track setups. Underneath the sculpting sits a drivetrain and chassis package that keeps the car honest. Porsche's naturally aspirated 4.0-liter flat six, taken to its screaming 9,000 RPM limit in GT tradition, produces the intoxicating high-revving soundtrack and roughly the 518 horsepower figure that separates the RS from lesser 911s, and that power goes to the rear wheels through a gearbox and final drive calibrated for razor-sharp responses, while race-inspired suspension geometry, rear axle steering, Porsche active suspension management, and lightweight construction keep turn-in immediate and mid-corner balance telegraphed to your hands and seat. The Weissach package, the raison d'etre of the variant you're looking at, is less about adding gratuitous adornments and more about surgical weight saving and material optimization. Additional CFRP bodywork, magnesium wheels, carbon fiber anti-roll bars, and bespoke interior trim swap mass for feel, shaving off kilos that sharpen turn of direction and transient behavior while amplifying the visceral feedback that makes a true GT3 RS feel like an analog extension of the driver's intent. Walk around the exterior and you notice purposeful details: lightweight glazing, exposed carbon weave, and vents that are sized and placed with a wind tunnel's discipline. But what many enthusiasts miss at first glance is how integrated the aesthetic and function are. The rear wings, end plates, and swan neck mountings are designed to tune pressure distribution. The fender vents relieve lift and brake heat. The bonnet slope, front splitter, and under tray are all part of a coherent aerodynamic map that keeps the car planted and predictable at the pointy end of speed. Step inside and the message is the same. The cockpit is uber-focused, where everything either reduces weight or improves control and feedback. Lightweight foldable CFRP bucket seats finished in a carbon weave gloss, or optional full carbon racing buckets if you go further toward the track spec. Race-Tex throughout the upper surfaces to cut glare and hold you more securely than smooth leather. Minimal soft trim and purposeful switches and dials that feel tactile and immediate rather than ornamental. The Weissach badging continues here not as a decorative afterthought, but as a marker of substitution. Carbon fiber replaces heavier materials wherever possible, door pulls are lightweight loops, the dashboard and center console are pared back, and even the sound deadening is reduced compared to standard 911s so that mechanical noises and the flat six scream arrive more directly, which for many buyers is precisely the point. Ergonomically, Porsche has not sacrificed usability entirely on the altar of performance. The driving position remains textbook 911, with the wheel-to-seat relationship optimized for heel-toe and manual inputs if you choose the stick, while clarity of instruments and the layout of controls are designed to be read and operated without fuss at speed. The steering is communicative, the pedals precise, and the shifter, in manuals or PDK selection logic in automatics, underscores the intention to be driven hard and rewarded instantly. Practicalities are intentionally minimal. Cargo is a polite nod, small frunk and a shallow rear shelf, and creature comforts are present but secondary. Porsche still offers a suite of tech and driver aids, but the RS's cabin makes clear which matters most: weight, focus, and a visceral connection between driver and car. The finishing touches in the interior, contrast stitching, Weissach embroidery on headrest, and tasteful carbon inlays communicate bespoke craftsmanship while serving lightweight ambitions. The overall aesthetic is a studied blend of race car sparseness and Porsche's signature quality. meaning the car feels like an object designed to perform rather than merely to impress on a driveway. From a materials perspective, the use of CFRP, magnesium, and lightweight alloys changes how the car behaves. Reduced unsprung mass, magnesium wheels, and carbon fiber anti-roll bars sharpen suspension response and allows the dampers and spring rates to work more effectively. And the structural approach borrowed from Porsche's RSR and GT Cup programs, control arm front suspension geometry, and reinforced mounting points gives the GT3 RS a chassis that tolerates and rewards aggressive inputs rather than being overwhelmed by them. The sensory experience of touring the exterior and interior back-to-back is instructive. Outside, you register the car's purpose in silhouette, vents, and wing. Inside, you feel it in the firmness of the seats, the narrow band of movement left to the wheel, and the way the dash and pedals are positioned to keep you locked and attentive. Together, they form an honest, coherent performance narrative, a car that will happily embarrass many purported supercars on a twisty track while still being engineered to return home sane and intact. Practical numbers, approximate weight in the mid-3,000-pound range depending on options, a 0 to 60 time around the low 3s, and a top speed in the high 180s miles per hour bracket are useful signposts but don't capture the core appeal, which is the immediacy of feedback and the sense that every gram saved and every aero lip added has been done to make the driver's job clearer and more rewarding. Finally, the Weissach variant's value proposition isn't simply exclusivity. It's the refinement of the RS's DNA into a lighter, sharper, more track-focused instrument that amplifies both exterior aggression and interior discipline. Visually, it's more purposeful, technically, it's more capable, and experientially, it's more direct. If your brief for a hyper-focused 911 is maximum connection between hand, wheel, throttle, and road, the 2025 GT3 RS Weissach is a brutally honest answer, one that looks fast sitting still, sounds ferocious when provoked, and rewards the kind of precise, committed driving that turns a track day into a lesson in automotive clarity.